UFC 266, Alexander Volkanovski taking on Brian Ortega. Oh my God, was that the best featherweight title fight of all time? It just might be, because I can't think of one off the top of my head that would beat that. The ones with Volkanovski and Holloway were extremely close, but they in no way had the drama of that fight. So listen, let's get into it. Man, from start to finish, both guys, I mean, they talk about leaving it all in the octagon. You want to leave it all in there. Well, they certainly did that. Right, Volkanovski took an early lead. The boxing was beautiful. The right hand was finding the mark, doing a lot of damage. Right hand following up with the left hook. He was the better guy on the feet, right? And we always knew that. I thought going into that, that's where the advantage would be. But of course, Brian Ortega, being the guy that he is, you know, he's very dangerous. A, on the feet, but B, if it hits the ground, my word, that's where you're in a lot of trouble. And that's what we saw. I think it was round 3. Volkanovski throws a kick. Ortega catches it and jabs at the same time. Knocked him off balance because he had hold of the leg. I don't think the jab would have knocked him down if he didn't have the leg. But still, he goes down. And this is why Ortega is one of the best in the world on the ground, because the way he took that guillotine and the way he got that mounted guillotine so quickly and nearly had it locked in was very, very impressive. So as Volkanovski goes down, Brian Ortega goes in for the kill straight away, jumps on top of him, gets him in the guillotine, and I thought it was over. Listen, I've been in a mounted guillotine myself against Luke Rockhold. Those things suck because with one hand you got it here and then you can just apply a lot of pressure and it hurts. It's not only choking you out here, it just hurts in many different ways. And I thought, oh my God, that's it. It's done, it's done, it's done. But Volkanovski, being the champ that he is and being the warrior that he is, refused to tap. All right, listen, let's be honest. Volkanovski doesn't really have much of a neck either. You know what I mean? Being short on this occasion really did help him, because if he had a long neck, Brian Ortega would have choked him out. But he doesn't have much of a neck, right? He's not the tall guy. So he kicked about, he thrashed about, he did whatever he could. He was trying to fight the hands. And of course, the choke went from the neck to the chin. Once it gets to the chin, you're okay, you're out of danger. But the thing that really saved Volkanovski there, the reason Volkanovski didn't tap to that more than anything is the conditioning. Simple as that, right? When you're in a fight, you're tired. You're already short of breath, right? You're blowing out of your ass and you're trying to suck in the air. And then somebody restricts your breathing. Somebody's choking you out at the same time. It's easy to tap in that situation because you're miserable. You're already tired and now you've got somebody choking you out. If you've never done jiu-jitsu or been in that position, imagine that. Imagine you come out of a swimming pool when you've been holding your breath for as long as you can and you're absolutely exhausted, you're out of breath, and then at that moment, somebody gets you in a guillotine and tries to choke you out. Think how miserable that would be. But because of the extreme conditioning from Volkanovski, he was able to fight through it. So there you go. There's another reason you always want to go into a fight in shape. Now, as the fight progressed, as we saw, that wasn't the only one. Of course, there was another situation. I forget how we got there. Did he knock him down? I'm not sure, but whatever. He almost got him in the triangle, right? And again, the conditioning of Volkanovski and the will to win, the desire to be victorious, to keep hold of that belt is what got him through. And he was moving and he's riding, he's jiggling, and of course, this is in round 4 now, so there's a lot of sweat. Both guys are extremely sweaty, so that adds lubricant. And every time he moved, right, the foot of Brian Ortega that locks up the triangle, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. It's a little bit. It wasn't exactly a technical escape, but just all the movement here and there, and with the sweat combined, boom, he breaks out of the triangle. And at the end of round 4, the referee comes up to Brian Ortega, and by this point, he has taken a lot of damage. Remember, when Volkanovski got on top, he did some severe ground and pound. On the feet, he was landing a ton of shots as well. And Ortega's face was busted up. He didn't know where he was doing. He didn't know where he was looking. And remember, the referee came in, and the referee said to him, right, you know, he was asking him all kinds of questions. Look over here. And Ortega's looking the wrong way. And actually, an interview with Volkanovski came out this morning. And Volkanovski said he could hear what was going on between the doctor and Brian Ortega. Now, of course, Volkanovski's listening carefully because as a fighter, of course, you don't want it to end on a doctor stoppage. But at that moment in time, you're going into round 5, you don't care. A win at that point is a win. So Volkanovski's paying attention. And he's listening very closely and intently. And he said, Brian Ortega was answering the doctor's questions wrongly, right? And then in the end, he said, how many fingers? And he got it right. He said 1 finger. And then Brian Ortega was walking the wrong way and stuff. The man was out on his feet. He was out on his feet, right? But the doctor allowed it to continue. And Volkanovski's like, oh, God, here we go. Round 5, let's go. It's on. But, you know, to Volkanovski's credit, You know, he expected Brian Ortega to be a broken man. He expected an easy 5th round. He expected to go out there and probably finish him. But Brian Ortega, the heart of Brian Ortega, I mean, this man is something special. Look at the beating that he took against Max Holloway. Of course, Brian Ortega doesn't want to be known for having the heart for taking a beating. The man's a dangerous fighter. He's knocked out plenty of people and he's got world-class jiu-jitsu. But the heart of that man in the 5th round, after taking that beating, and to almost finish the fight twice as well, to go out there and put it on Volkanovski the way that he did and make it a really competitive 5th round, I mean, come on. That was something special. It really was. So that was one of the greatest title fights at featherweight that I can remember, right? If not the best. If you've got any suggestions, leave it down below in the comments. Now, what's next for Alexander Volkanovski? Well, we know Holloway is the next best guy. And a lot of people think he should have been the champ anyway, but that's a whole different video. Volkanovski's the champ. He beat Holloway twice. Holloway is going to fight Yair Rodriguez, I think in November or early December. And you got to think whoever wins that fight will go on then to fight Volkanovski. And that's, you know, that's logical. And I would expect, and no disrespect to Yair, because I think Yair will give him a really good fight. I'm really looking forward to Holloway and Yair. It's going to be incredible. But I think Holloway takes it, and rightly so. I mean, the man is incredible. But if you're Alexander Volkanovski, you don't want to fight Holloway again so soon. His last 2 fights were against Holloway. What, he's going to beat Brian Ortega and then fight Holloway a 3rd time? Listen, if you fight enough times when they're that evenly matched, of course it's only a matter of time before Holloway wins one. You know, they're both evenly matched. So it's kind of not fair to Volkanovski, but this is the world we're in. Now, I've got a suggestion for Alexander Volkanovski to keep the fresh meat coming in, to keep the challengers coming in, to keep the credible opponents that can generate good money for him coming in. Who am I talking about? The king of cringe himself, the Triple C, Henry Cejudo. Yes, listen, Henry, for all the cringe tactics, the man's a great fighter, an incredible fighter, Olympic gold medalist, 125 champ, 135 pound champ, and then he retired when he beat Dominic Cruz. But we all knew it wasn't a real retirement. And Henry Cejudo himself said he wants to be the quadruple C, right? He wants to take on Volkanovski, right? I think that's a great fight for Volkanovski. Size matters. Volkanovski's the bigger guy. So that's a good matchup. And I think a lot of people would be intrigued by that. A lot of people would pay for that. And I think that would make an excellent co-main event on a pay-per-view. So Volkanovski, in the meantime, takes on Henry Cejudo, while Holloway and Yair Rodriguez, they fight. And after he's done Volkanovski, then he can fight the winner of that fight. But still, that's just me looking forward to the future. I've got to say, that fight Saturday night was absolutely incredible. Brian Ortega, be proud of yourself. You're a class act. I loved everything about it. After the fight, the guys hugged and, you know, no more bad blood. It's all fair in love and war. Then afterwards, you shake hands and it should be all finished there. And that's what we saw on Saturday night. Alexander Volkanovski, you are a true champion. Hold your head up high. That was incredible. One of the best fights I've seen in recent memory. Congrats to both men and congrats to you for listening and watching and subscribing down below and making sure to ring that bell. All right, get out of here. Take care.